Ellie. It's loud.
Ow. Fucking asshole. Maybe put PC. I found it.
Nerd Confessions.
Incoming transmission. Accessing database. Identification acquired. Welcome back, user. Nerd Confessions will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Nerd Confessions, our safe haven where we discuss our thoughts and opinions on everything nerdy, geeky, techie, and whatever. It's been a week since our last confession, but before we jump right into it, we'd like to remind our listeners that you can follow us on our various social media platforms, find previous episodes, and view bonus content on our website, nerdconfessions.net. I'm William, the moderator for this episode. I'm joined today by Sohil.
What's going on?
Ellie.
Hi.
And Tommy.
Yo.
In this episode, we'll be talking about our 5 recent nerd news topics important to us, and hopefully you too. And then we're going to be talking about Capcom's Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Oh my god.
The latest game entry, which supports VR in addition to the standard gameplay, which I've been excited about for a long time.
I'm nauseous.
And VR makes Ellie nauseous if
Apparently.
if you use the joysticks to move around.
Resident Evil, the movie, the final chapter.
And a movie that will hopefully live up to its name, Resident Evil, the final chapter.
Spooky.
Stick around until the end of the episode to hear some of our listeners' confessions. If you want to send us a confession, you can email us at contact@nerdconfessions.net or send us a tweet. So before we start, let's see what everybody's been up to this week. Ellie, what's new with you?
Ooh, I get to go first.
Yeah.
It got really quiet all
Go
of a
ahead.
sudden.
We're just ready for you.
I didn't do that much.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Don't lie to us.
I never do much. Other than obviously playing the game and watching the movie Resident Evil, I continued playing on with Watch Dogs. My current obsession.
You finish it yet?
Close.
You're close. Okay.
Close, not quite. And then I finished the series on Unfortunate Events. I finished the whole thing. Last time I think I said I started the first 2, 3. I finally finished it. I mean, I have other opinions on it now. I don't know if I
Is it the Netflix series or not the movie?
Netflix,
Yeah.
Netflix series.
Was
The
the ending
series.
unfortunate?
Did it what?
Was the ending unfortunate?
Will and his puns.
Yes.
Oh.
The whole thing, I don't know. It's just
An unfortunate ending.
I wanted
wanna
to
watch it
like
for
it
another
because
episode.
it was like my childhood books. Like I loved reading those books, but I don't know. There was just something about it, the series, that kept me intrigued enough because I wanted to relive the books. But there was just something. I guess it's not how I imagined it. But that's all. That's all I did.
It's in your mind's eye, right? When you're reading the books.
I pictured it like in a different art direction. People say it looks like it's like Tim Burton, but it's not Tim Burton. Not at all.
It's
Not
Tim
at
Burton-esque.
No,
And Ellie,
no.
no, she's the biggest fan of Tim Burton there is.
Not the big, no.
One of the biggest fans.
I like Tim Burton.
A big fan of Tim Burton.
A big fan.
I would call it like a Wes Anderson, a dark Wes Anderson.
Oh, wow. Dark Wes Anderson.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of symmetry in this.
Yeah, like those weird pans he does
Yeah.
from room to room.
If you think of all his like pastel, vibrant color palettes, but think of that more muted and dark colors. That's what I
Does it still have the same camera work though? Like the weird rooms that feel long, but they're actually
some
tiny.
scenes I can't remember exactly, but there's a lot of those elements that he uses.
All right.
The symmetry, especially.
I like it when people use their own style. I get, Wes Anderson style, but Wes Anderson's awesome. I love him, but I don't like when people copy. Just do your own thing.
Yeah.
Because Wes Anderson's so unique. You
Yeah,
shouldn't
and
do
it
his
works
thing.
for him. Yeah. So then when you take someone's like that and then try to do your own, It's just that, oh, now it's just a Wes Anderson. It's just not a Wes Anderson, though.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's how I am. Like, if I try doing Tim Burton, it's like, oh, she's trying to be like Tim Burton, but it's not Tim Burton.
Right. It's not a Wes Anderson movie unless Bill Murray's in it.
Like Coraline.
Yeah, Coraline.
What about Coraline?
Was
that was a great movie.
Nothing about
The
Coraline.
director of Nightmare Before Christmas was not Tim Burton. It was directed by Henry Selick. I think that's his name. His last name.
But
he's the same one that did
somebody.
for Coraline. So that kind of like the style of animation is still there. So
Exactly.
they only took Tim Burton's characters.
Yeah, exactly. His character style.
Eat it. Okay, that's good.
Okay, I'm eating it.
Damn.
Sohail, what's going on with you?
So I played Biohazard on my own. I have things to say about it, but I won't. I'll wait till later. I'll watch Resident Evil Final Chapter with you guys. I reserved my Nintendo Switch with Tommy.
Yeah.
And then
Congratulations.
I also played Just Cause 3. I downloaded it. It was on sale. So
I have it on PC. Otherwise, I'd get it too. It was a good deal.
It was on sale. I don't know how much it was for sale, but I just bought it because I heard there's so many weird things you can do, so that's why I did it. But that's it. It was a very sparse week for me.
Tommy, what did you do?
This week, I saw the Resident Evil, the movie.
No way.
Yeah, it's a shocker, right?
Were you there in the theater?
I was sitting next to some
He was the one whining the whole time.
I was.
He was the one that
The
flinched.
one with the blanket.
He was the one that thought it was going to be scary.
First of all, I don't have a blanket. Okay. We'll talk about that later. I played a little bit of Diablo 3 with Pedram and Will. And I also got back onto Ark. Played a little bit of that.
What's going on in that? Is the game updated?
They're up there. They added more stuff. I got attacked by random shit that I don't even know what it is.
I thought you were done with it.
Wow.
No, I went back. Took a little break, but I went back to it. I tried out London Heist on virtual reality.
Did you like
aka
that?
VR of PS4. It was cool. I mean, there was a lot of times where I was just reaching out to grab stuff and thought I could punch stuff.
Did you suck on that cigar?
Yes, that was actually probably the most trippy thing.
That's my favorite part is the cigar sucking.
Yeah, I
Listen.
thought he was trolling.
When
me.
I originally played that game with my wife, I said, "Hey, Allie, go ahead and like actively smoke the cigar." And she's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, put the cigar up to your mouth and like suck in and blow out. And she's like, "You're being a goofball. You're just telling me to do this." And I was like, "No, do it." And she started doing it. And she's like, "It works." And she didn't stop. She did it for the whole scene. Yeah, that was great.
I bought Super Smash Brothers on 3DS. I haven't played it since the Nintendo 64.
I should have brought it and brought it out.
And I can tell you right now, it's pretty cool. I like it a lot. I played Verse 3 computers, all max level, and I almost won twice, except for like the last character left. We both had one life, and somehow he got me at the very end both times.
Wow.
So I kind of pissed me off.
It's got to be Falco.
But it's good. No, one was Pac-Man and the other one was fucking Mario.
Falco, though.
Falco's the best.
I also bought Mario Kart 7 for 3DS. Again, haven't played it since. I haven't played it since Nintendo 64. It was actually really good. I'm glad I bought these two games. I've been looking for them forever. Additionally, I did also pre-order the Nintendo Switch with Zelda and ARMS, the game that's coming down
Even though
the
it's
road.
not a launch game.
Yeah, it's not a launch game, but I want it.
I remember you were the most bummed about it not being a launch game. You're
Yeah.
like,
We got to at least get 1-2 Switch, one of us, so that we.
I'll get 1-2 Switch.
No, I'm gonna. I just want ARMS because it just looks so cool.
I'll get 1-2 Switch. I really
like
want
you
it.
punch people and stuff. I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm getting this.
You don't eat burgers. Nom, 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 nom.
Yeah, I can do that in life.
I like where Nintendo's going, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. I also had a random spur of watching a bunch of Adam Savage videos, building stuff
Tested.
on Tested.
Shout out to Tested.
Oh,
Yeah, shout out to Tested. It's really good stuff. I like watching them.
I mean, you can't match Adam Savage when it comes to cool builds.
He literally, if somebody told me who would you want to be like when you grow older, I just think Adam Savage, because he's just like he's literally a kid.
Isn't he like
as an
20 years,
adult.
maybe 20 years older than you, right?
He's 49, so
yeah.
I really enjoy Tested stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I like? I like the fact that he can get excited over things he likes and he's not ashamed, and that's rare to see.
You shouldn't be ashamed of what you like.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
I mean, like you literally see the joy like
unless
a child.
it's in
and so
weird
good.
stuff. But yeah, let's go ahead.
Yeah. And then I also got back into catching up with some of the animes, Dragon Ball Z Super. Watching also Mobile Suit Gundam Orphans, which is actually a pretty cool spin-off of the original Mobile Suits. And I also started watching the second season of Blue Exorcist that came back, and it's, again, a really interesting story. And I started watching Noragama, which is about a god who's not popular, and he works his way up to getting famous. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, God.
So,
you did a lot.
I did a lot. I did a lot of stuff this week.
All right, you didn't stop, man. You watch a lot and on Crunchyroll, right?
Yeah. I mean, because they're only like 20, 30 minutes, so it's not that bad.
That's what you like. You like them short ones.
I like them. Well, not really. Sometimes I like it to be short episodes, yeah, but at the same time, I want there to be a lot. The problem I find is most animes are only 12 episodes. So that's literally like in 3-4 hours, you're done with the whole series, or there's no more series. And I hate that. Like, you'll watch a show, and you'll get really invested, and then
you keep
it's
doing
done.
it. Keep going back for more.
No, I go for another story, hoping there's more.
Yeah, I can hear you when it comes to that, because when you watch a show and you get into it, you all of a sudden you like want to watch more, and then 20 minutes.
Yeah, you start. Because it takes you a while to really get invested in the characters and really care, and then by the time you do, it show's over. You're like, what? This is it? And that's how they traditionally do it. Actually, apparently the tradition is to do 12 or so. That's just what they do.
So myself, I watched the Resident Evil movie.
Ooh.
And I played Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. I played through it a few times actually, and all I have left to do in the game is stop it. All I have left to do in the game is please stop.
What else you got to do?
All I have left to do in the game is play through on the Madhouse difficulty.
Madhouse, like
the hardest difficulty.
Wait, say that again?
Madhouse difficulty.
So what? Like you have to shoot him like 1,000 times?
No, it's just more difficult.
So 1,000 times.
You don't have as many resources. Enemies have more health.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm
gonna do it, but I need a little break, and then I'll go it.
Do you feel like you can do it?
I'm sure we'll can do it.
I'm pretty confident, because as you go through, you earn different things. Like you earn a saw and stuff. We'll talk about this later, but as you go through, meet certain criteria, you earn unlockables, and those help you in the harder difficulty.
I see.
And while I was playing Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, like the second and third time through, I was watching Star Wars Rebels Season 2.
Oh, wow.
Like simultaneously?
Yeah, while you played.
The episode says
wow, you're a monster. I don't know how you're doing virtual reality.
Well, the second time through, you know exactly what you're doing, so it's fine.
Well, don't you have the VR?
He's probably not playing a VR.
No, first time through, I played through VR. Second time through, I didn't.
Oh.
So
I was about to say, like, how are you looking through these goggles and watching a TV show?
Yeah, I wanted my
one
first
eye
experience.
is on the game, one eye is on the show.
Yeah, I wanted my first experience to be full VR. So the whole game I played VR.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was kind of strenuous on my head a little bit, because 8 hours in VR. But Star Wars Rebels Season 2 had a really strong opening. It was Darth Vader and all, like other characters that we know, which is kind of cool.
All right. So you got Star Wars Rebels, and then they brought Darth Vader back in?
Yeah, that Darth Vader's in that.
Wow.
And they also brought Leia and some of the other series.
Poor Leia.
Yeah, poor Leia.
More stories of Leia.
Yeah, well, anyway, let's jump into the news.
News of the week.
There are rumors about a new iPhone, guys. The iPhone X.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Oh, what?
It's rumored to have a stainless steel body and a glass back, much like the iPhone 4.
Wow, that's crazy.
The first one, right? Didn't the very first original
I think it's iPhone 4 had the glass back and the stainless steel sides.
You know, like on the side.
Yeah,
wait, so
not
the
the whole
is
body stainless
glass?
steel.
Oh.
Just the bezel on the outside is stainless steel.
Yeah, something I hated about it is it didn't like actually go to the corners. So if you dropped it on the corners, it'd actually be damaging the
Yeah, because the glass was on the edge.
Yeah, it kind of sucked.
Yeah, but this, if you're talking about the original iPhone 1, that was all stainless steel, and then you got the iPhone 3GS. That one was like a weird plastic.
Yeah,
and then
glass-looking, but it was plastic.
Yeah, then they went to the iPhone 4, and the iPhone 4 was like this.
Yeah, a little different too, though, is it's going to have the home button and fingerprint reader built into the screen. Just a rumor, but it's rumored to be directly on the screen. Reducing the bezel needed for the actual phone.
So why? Oh, I don't understand why they're doing that, but I think going back to it is like Apple playing homage to itself.
I mean,
I
well,
guess.
you see all those conceptual things. The less the bezel there is, the nicer it looks. And for the longest time, they've had a huge button, and it's been like the number one thing that's been holding them back as far as size, I think. So maybe taking that will really help them in that.
It should be better.
Because I think they only have the way it is now, big bar on top, big bar on bottom for symmetry. At least that's what I think.
I think so too. Eye shot.
But oh, sorry, I had something to say.
Go ahead.
What is it?
But the glass and stainless steel in the glass back is it the same as the new iPhone one with the jet black?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
The one I have.
I think it's just gonna.
This one.
It might be.
Oh no, isn't yours jet black?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yours
it's not
is stainless
glass.
steel.
But it's not glass.
That's the color of the stainless steel.
Yeah, the one that it's like the iPhone 4. Remember when the iPhone 4 you dropped it on the back, it would shatter back here too.
It was just.
I don't
It was just
remember
black.
that at all.
I remember that.
It basically looked like the bezel.
It's like it was like the front of your phone, but it was on the back.
You see this? It was just on the back.
This?
Yeah, it looked like that on the back.
Yeah.
What I want to know is when are they gonna come out
But why?
with an iPhone that I can see through?
Whenever you want it, baby.
What?
I don't know.
Eventually we're getting
What does
there.
that even mean?
I don't know. Just ask Tim Cook. We'll see.
Yeah, get a custom made one.
Yo, cook me a iPhone I can see through.
So guys, first Instagram, now Facebook. Snapchat like stories are coming to Facebook.
Wow. So
How many places do we need to have stories?
When is Facebook actually going to have an individual or an innovative idea after its original stories it used to have?
Well, they already did.
When is
they
social
own
media
Instagram.
gonna die?
I know, but they own Instagram because
They own Instagram, so why didn't they just stick with Instagram? Why do they have to do it with Facebook?
Yeah, because
No.
because is Instagram going to die?
When are we gonna be done with
No.
this?
I don't know.
That's what I want to know.
I
When
just
is
am tired
this
of-
social media crap gonna end?
It never
It's
ends.
everywhere. It's
Never
on your
ends.
damn
Shut up.
PlayStation. It's on.
Okay,
It's
Grandpa.
on the 3DS.
Hey, Gramps.
It's on the
Gramps.
phone.
Tommy?
It's on the website. Dude, there's people wearing T-shirts of social media. I'm so tired of
Okay,
it.
Grandpa.
Watch
relax.
episode 1 of Black Mirror, and then we'll talk.
No, I don't want to. I refuse because I know it's social media too. It's even an anime.
What? It's an
fuck's
anime
sakes.
now. But at the end of the day,
Fake
you
social
can't
media.
you can't get rid of social media. Social media is going to be here forever.
It's just to give it the option for everyone to whatever your
What would be
preference of
next?
using it.
What would be after social media?
Death. That's it. Okay.
That's pretty drastic. I mean, damn.
I hope it's
All
not
right.
death. I hope it's not death. But at the end of the day, when are they going? My biggest concern is when are they going to have an individual or more an original thought? I feel like Facebook is also doing just copying whatever's popular now. Like they copied who the hell did they just copy? Sorry for going off the topic, but
That's what they all do, man. They all
remember the
just,
stores, the online
somebody-
stores? What was that thing called? Online stores? You know what I'm talking
Etsy?
about? Offer Up and stuff like that.
Oh.
Offer Up and all those.
Like a Craigslist.
Yeah,
on
Craigslist, but they when they
Facebook,
put on
oh
Facebook.
yeah, yeah.
You're like, what
Or
do you
like
guys- what do you
Instagram
gu-
did their like live story, like how Facebook does their live video.
Yeah, and it's like, what do we want? Who needs all this? This is getting ridiculous. But
yeah.
it's okay.
When does it stop? That's what I want to
No,
know.
it's never gonna end.
They should just make one app called social media and then destroy everything else.
Okay, because you don't have multitask. But anyway,
I want one place of action, and call it the interweb. That's where you connect.
all right, Al Gore.
All right. Next topic, guys. Samurai Jack will return with a new season
Yes.
in March.
Yay!
Honestly,
Bum-ba-da-dum.
that's super exciting because Samurai Jack was really good.
I really
It
like
was.
Samurai Jack, but like after the pilot episode, I lost interest for some reason.
What the
Like
hell?
The
The
pilot.
How can you
episode.
How can you
The
say
pilot-
you really
the pilot
like
episode
No,
was
no, no, no,
great.
no. You're not gonna go over this like you
The
just
pilot
said that.
episode was
No, no, no.
great.
Slow
But then
down.
you say you lost interest after the pilot episode.
No, like when I actually
I
started
really
the episodes
liked-
after the pilot, it wasn't as interesting to me. I don't know why.
The pilot.
So how
is the
can you
first
say?
thing.
Wait. How can you say that you really liked Samurai Jack, but just the first goddamn episode? was
Because it
interesting?
really got me into it. Samurai Jack.
the first episode.
The pilot, which was actually like.
So you
3
didn't
episodes.
really like Samurai Jack then?
I
You
think
were
that,
just
I think the
intrigued.
pilot was like 3 episodes. They cut it into 3 episodes later.
Yeah. The pilot
But-
was really long.
But it was a great pilot. I really liked that. But then when it comes to the actual episodes, it wasn't anywhere near as good as the pilot.
I like the art.
Long ago. You know that voice actor for Aku is actually dead.
Yeah.
No
He passed
kidding.
away.
I'll never forget him from
The Last Airbender.
No, the
Iroh.
movie where Chuck Norris mentored a little boy who was fascinating, that was fantasizing during the day.
Yeah, nobody remembers that, but they do remember Uncle Iroh.
You don't
from
remember that?
The Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Do you remember the title of that movie, Sohail?
No, I don't remember that title. I'm sorry.
See,
would love to
no
look
one
it up.
remembers it. Why? Because it's not relevant.
The kid,
I don't know. But when they say they're bringing it back, it's just
They're gonna
completely new episodes.
I heard it's going to have a
not
darker
going-
tone.
Okay. I just hope it's not one of those, like, you know how they redid Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go? I hope it's not one of those
Oh,
things.
God.
I will be super sad.
They ruined Dexter too. Dexter had a really cool art
Oh,
style to it,
yeah.
and then they made it like more simple. Batman
Same
the
thing with
Animated Series
Powerpuff
too.
They
They cut
changed
budget,
it.
reduced it to.
I haven't really watched any of these shows since I was
the guy that created Samurai Jack
middle
was also
school.
the creator of Dexter's Lab, right?
Yeah.
And that Dexter's Lab was so good.
Dude, I always wanted Dexter's Laboratory to somehow end up meeting the kids next door. That would have been
Okay,
crazy.
you're going into a weird area.
It's not a
So,
weird area.
Honestly, if
Just 'cause you don't have
I wish that
information.
Dexter's Lab would have met Ren and Stimpy, because I feel like they are very close.
What?
I don't know how.
Ren and Stimpy was so like weird and crazy, and I thought maybe Dexter's Lab could be weird and crazy.
So
with it.
wait. So you rather them meet Ren and fucking Stimpy,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't want Dexter to meet the kids
Ren and
next door.
Stimpy is a classic.
The
Like
kids
Ren and
next door
Stimpy
were
and
all
Rocco,
building
I could
shit
see
and
that.
secret.
Kids
you
next-
can't beat Ren and Stimpy with weirdness.
Ren and Stimpy would meet Rocco.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not fucking Dexter.
Rocco's Modern Life was weird as hell too, but
I
that was
loved
weird
it.
for weird's sake.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, I started watching like Cat Dog and stuff and like
Oh my God.
Nickelodeon, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so weird.
The cat dog was
But when they
weird.
showed Real Monsters for a while, I was
That's
in
I
heaven.
love
Right.
that show. I
That
never
was
got
also
into
a
Cat Dog,
creepy
but I
one.
loved All Real Monsters.
Listen, I don't know what these kids are watching nowadays, but I want to watch some TV, and I'm like, this is some craziness.
It's
This is
just,
some
they're
crazy-
just shapes now.
So much
No.
It's
color.
literally like it's like a
Lots of color.
triangle and
All
it
right.
talks.
color.
All right,
They just rerun the originals.
Yay.
That's what they should do, or remake them. Oh, now you don't have the snap. You have it when we don't need it, but when we need it, you don't have it. What kind of
Can
fucking
you shut
sound
up for a
producer?
minute?
Why are we putting Trump stuff in here?
What?
Hold on. So, guys, Trump may be making our games more expensive. The video game industry is preparing for a coming possible trade tariff.
Oh yeah, I remember him saying
What?
they would trade tariffs on games
So,
on
the-
companies outside the United States.
Just recently, I mean, actually, Nintendo's making the Switch the first open console that they've ever made, but PlayStation and Xbox have all removed the region locking, so you can purchase a Japanese game and then play it over here. So what this is about is any game from Japan coming over here, more expensive. Any hardware coming from Japan over here, more expensive.
Wow.
This is already happening with Australia. It's already happening with other countries, and they have all these markups because of the tax, which sucks. So I hope it doesn't happen.
But,
Oh, it doesn't happen either.
but there's no limitation now. You could still buy it and play it, but it's just going to be more expensive.
Right.
You're going to pay for the tariff through them. They're going to make you pay their tariff.
Hopefully, they find a way to make it easier to buy digital, like Japanese games and things. That would help.
Remember how hard it is with
You have to
Switch
change
though.
your location.
Oh yeah. But the Switch can't carry that much stuff, so you're gonna have to get a lot of SD
You do
cards.
have that micro SD card. Actually, unrelated news. Nintendo said that once they're actually norm, they built the Switch to support up to 2 terabyte SD cards.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is crazy. I
Yeah.
saw a
Yo, for real?
Yeah.
Damn.
Those are really expensive. You buy them right now, especially if they're for cheap, they're probably fake. But when they're commonplace, yeah, you can actually get
You
one.
can get one online. I think you can get one on Amazon for like, I saw one like on eBay for $15, a 2 terabyte one. But the reason it was 2 terabytes, it was deleting your data, but putting fake images of the data that you're putting on there. So you thought it was there, but it's not.
So there's no actual 2 terabyte.
There are, but they're very expensive.
They're like very,
how-
very
how-
rare, not like common user.
So what's
I think there's a 1 terabyte
how much
that
are
you
they?
can, but it's like a few $100.
Yeah, it's a few $100 and it's not small. It's like the size of this dongle, like this part of the dongle.
Yeah, when we get micro,
Goddamn.
it has to be a micro SD card. And
Yeah.
then,
So do you have those?
Not yet.
I don't think so.
Not
But
yet.
we're in process of getting there. Right now, a 256 I think is $50 or no, $150, $120.
Yeah,
That's still plenty though.
256 gigs is a lot, but it's not. If you're downloading games constantly online, it's not going to be.
Yeah, you're gonna need
easily
like
filled
a
up.
couple. Damn, you're gonna need a whole Nintendo Switch worth of SD cards.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy when a little SD card is like half the price of the whole console.
Yeah, they're expensive. All right. So sales of the PS4 have exceeded 53.4 million units worldwide.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I heard it
Yeah.
like broke records.
PS4 software has reached more than 400 million.
Wow.
Sony's Shuei Yoshida states that the PS4 Pro is selling very well. I don't know what that means. There's no hard numbers.
Yeah.
But
Selling well.
he remained quiet on the PlayStation VR.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, what are we going to do? Because they're sold out everywhere. So
Is
does that mean they just didn't make enough and then want to talk about it because the sales could be a lot better than they are? I don't know. It's sold out everywhere.
Is it sold out because they're not making more?
I mean, the VR.
Did they undergauge it? I mean, I understand. They said they were going to treat it like a console release.
But did they do it like Nintendo usually does, and then only make like 100, maybe 150,000 units? And
I don't know. I think it's dumb. I think it's a good price, and they just need to make a bunch. And if it doesn't sell, then sell it for a cheaper price point, and then that way you get a bigger user base. And then when you make PlayStation VR 2, you have a bigger following.
Exactly.
Well, the problem is you have with VR can make some people sick. Some people might not be able to even use it. So those people are out. And then to spend another $400 to play games that you already play on your $400 PS4, that's a pretty big ask, especially for families who can't just blow $800.
I don't want to be.
It's a smaller. Base,
yeah. So I mean, I can see where, and especially without all the, you don't have a crap ton of games for VR yet, right?
It's a smaller market, but at the end of the day,
people might just be waiting. So because of that, they might not be selling that well.
I would say honestly, the install base for VR, counting Oculus, counting Vive, counting PlayStation VR, is probably a few million.
How far apart was VR and the PS4 Pro launch?
Huh?
Like when the PS4 Pro launched, was the VR first before that?
VR was first.
VR was first announced, and they announced PSVR like.
Well, when they were available, were they really close to each other?
PS4 Pro, sorry. The launch of the VR was, I think, a couple months before the launch of Pro, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then that happened. They already knew about the Pro when the VR was launching because
they
were all kinds of rumors out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they probably were just saving their money for the Pro. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll pick up next year or towards Christmas time.
I know. I'm happy that the Pro is selling good, though.
If the Pro is selling,
in their opinion, it could be like a low bar they set for that Pro.
Yeah, they probably put like a bar and said if we max this, then we're good. But I don't think it's hard for console people. I know this is a hard sell, is to sell them a console that'll play the games but that they're making for the regular PlayStation 4. So it's hard to sell it to people, but people are like, yeah, I'll buy it. So it might be future. You might not see full launches of PS4s another generation. You'll see half generations. We'll see what happens.
Turning into the iPhone era.
We'll see Scorpio coming too, so we'll see what happens with that.
First topic of the week, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Okay, guys, so...
That wasn't me.
Did you guys ever play PT or experience that?
Yeah, I played
what?
PT, it's a playable teaser. It was released by Konami when Hideo Kojima was working on it with them. And
quick question. Konami made Mortal Kombat?
Was it?
I guess
it was Konami.
Was it Konami or Acclaim?
I think it was originally Acclaim, and then Konami got it, and then it was bought by Warner Brothers.
I just remember seeing Konami on Mortal Kombat, I think. Sorry. It bothered me for a moment. I just had to ask.
Okay, well, anyway, that I think they maybe drew some inspiration for Resident Evil 7 Biohazard from that, because it's a lot more like the horror games we get with, maybe because it's first person, which may be for the VR experience, but it's a lot more like
I was incorrect. It was not Acclaim for Mortal Kombat. It's Midway Games.
Oh yeah, Midway. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Midway Studios, and then you are correct. It was purchased by Warner Brothers,
Space.
but it was never actually went to Konami. It was just Midway, and then straight to.
What did Konami own? Because I remember them owning a fighting game.
Maybe was Konami that weird Killer Instinct, or is that wrong? Am I wrong? I'm probably wrong.
I think that was Acclaim.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But anyway, Outlast is the name of the game I was trying to think of, and Alien Isolation is a lot like that too, where you can't actually
Castlevania.
What? Where you can't actually kill anything.
Yeah.
You're all just running away. You can kill things in this, but it's a lot more oriented around running away and kind of the horror aspect. You still have this. You still have the puzzles. You still have to.
Yeah, the puzzles in that game versus. In that game is really highly wanted. PT. I heard people didn't want to wipe their PlayStation drives.
Yeah. I mean, well, this is not like a big relation to it because that was Konami. This is Capcom.
Yeah.
This is Capcom's whole franchise, but it's a big departure because I mean, it's not even as far as the Resident Evil universe. It's hardly any word of it.
Yeah,
towards
exactly.
the end of it, you get kind of some of the regular Resident Evil universe, but as far as 95% of the game, nothing to do with Umbrella Corporation, zombies. It's all this kind of lone entity, so it's a big departure from what Resident Evil's been.
Yeah, you can tell when you start the game that you feel the Resident Evil vibe, but then you don't see the Resident Evil storyline. But from what has been...
Well, I mean, maybe this is just another branch off into where they're going to go with future games. Because we had those third-person games where you're looking at a room and you walk around the room and solve puzzles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we got the action games as soon as we got the Resident Evil 5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, Resident Evil 4. You got the action games when it's third-person, behind the shoulder, walking around, shoot.
Exactly.
It's definitely got like a Walking Dead feel.
But at the end of the day, I mean, one thing I want to say about this game is you can totally see how a AAA developer makes VR work really good.
Yeah.
So whenever I was sitting here, I played it for a little bit. You can see the smoothness. You can see how VR works when a AAA team takes over. And when Capcom made this game, I was a little hesitant, thinking maybe it was just going to be a whole bunch of jump scares. Remember when we went to PSX and we saw the demo? We didn't get to go to the demo, but we saw their demo hut.
Yeah.
And all I thought it was it's going to be a bunch of jump scares and things just hopping out and popping back,
It's
hopping
very
out.
atmospheric.
Yeah.
Story behind
But
it.
that's not what it's like.
Yeah.
It's actually you're playing the game first person, and really Konami and their AAA development of this game, I'm surprised on how well it came out. I mean,
The story is creepy. I mean,
all the Resident Evil games.
no, but this was just absolutely it's creepy, man.
Well, it's true. I mean, the other games.
It's not just a
you
jump.
get
It's
used to
like,
it,
holy
too.
shit, she's such and such.
If there's a
Wait a
zombie in
second.
front of me, I shoot it. You have a gun. In this, you don't always have a gun.
Yeah.
And it's not always a zombie.
Yeah.
Well,
You have no idea what the hell's going on.
Sometimes
I
it's
have
a
to figure
phone
it
call.
out. Yeah. What?
what?
You guys weren't scared about the random phone call in the middle of an abandoned house? I was.
That's because you jumpy.
There was a person on the other end, though. It's not like it's static.
No, my thing is.
Yeah, but you're in an abandoned house, and all of a sudden the damn
but
phone rings.
But obviously, the house is not
That
abandoned.
means somebody's watching you.
But anyway, the smooth. I mean, when you went into the, how you said there was the vector turning. I think it's not vector turning, just turning in general.
Well, so I don't think this game was immediately thought, hey, we're going to make this game into VR.
I don't think so either.
They thought they could just tag VR in there, and they did a really good job doing it. But the problem with VR is, of course, people get sick, right?
Yep, exactly.
So,
I got sick.
But that we'll talk about that in a minute.
So
I want to talk about why you got sick.
the problem with VR is getting around. How are you going to get from point A to point B?
Like interaction between point A and point
with the
B.
Vive, you can walk a little bit, but how they've resolved it on the Vive is you push this little button and you can set a teleport and teleport where you're pointing.
Yeah.
That's how they do it in most Vive games. And they have always tried to avoid using the stick to move around because that makes people sick.
Yeah, because it's not correlation between your hand and your body moving.
Right. Especially when you're using the stick to turn around.
Yeah.
So PlayStation VR, you have pretty much looking forward at the camera, and that's where most of the tracking's at. So you can't go crazy and look all the way around you. You can't look around you, but the depth perception is not as good. And if you're using the move controllers, it will definitely won't know what's behind you. So.
Exactly, and your neck doesn't work that way.
Yeah. So what they've done here is with a lot of games is instead of having a smooth motion when you turn around to help with motion sickness, they have intervals. So you hit the stick, you have 45-degree angle change.
And you can change that angle, can't you?
Yeah, you can change the percentage, but you hit the stick and change, and then that way you turn around and it's jumpy. It is not as immersive.
But it keeps that motion sickness down.
It keeps motion sickness down.
But what I was trying to get to the point of is that with the smooth turn here, it looks good when you're doing a smooth turn.
Yeah, no, like when I was playing Journey to the Robinson, they did not have that black bar that comes and removes your depth of field. I mean, comes to the side.
Give you that tunnel vision.
Yeah. You have tunnel vision, so your periphery is not going to make you sick because it's really, really small. And they do that a lot in this. When you're looking around intense or when you're running intense, your periphery is closed in, like you have that tunnel vision.
But it feels natural in this game.
Yeah.
Because when you're playing the VR headset, you're kind of like not...
You like naturally, when you're trying to move fast, have tunnel vision anyway.
Yeah, so your body's like, okay, I got to focus on that. But when I played Robinson, I kind of got that stomach queasiness. With
so
the smooth turn.
when I had the smooth turn on Robinson, they didn't have the tunnel vision. So it really, really made me sick. I tried it. I have a high tolerance for moving around in VR. And I got sick from that. So I had to turn on the interval since they didn't have the tunnel vision thing.
Yeah, and it feels unnatural with the interval. Like the game, it feels really weird.
If I could not do it, I wouldn't. But in this, it worked out really well. I was happy with what they did it.
You know what's unnatural? Disappearing people. That's unnatural.
You just can't get over the horror.
But I mean, at the end of the day, with Konami, how Konami worked on this from I don't think it started off as a VR horror game, but they're like, we got to embrace this technology, and they did it well. I mean, I can't fault them for what it is. I was expecting something crappy, just jump scares, and I thought it was gonna be separate from the main storyline, honestly.
If I could have...
You mean you were expecting the movie?
Okay,
no, the movies are not related to this all.
It's not related at all.
Crappy jump scares?
Oh, I got it. Yeah. If they were able to integrate the Move controllers with this, and I was able to run around with Move controllers, I would have loved this game like 100 times more.
I just think I see it hard to them doing it.
But it's going to be hard to do that, especially with the tracking. That's not very precise because Batman, you can know how hard it was. Batman to play with Batman.
Imagine if you're like trying to shoot something and then your hand just goes, like, disappears off to the corner, and you're like, oh crap, that's not my hands was here.
I will say this too: your aiming is based off where you're looking when you hold a gun, and the accuracy. I was able to get a lot more precise shots with that when I was actually playing with VR than when I was actually had the controller.
Yeah.
There's a trophy for killing 2 guys with 1 shot, and I got like without even trying on VR.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So.
I mean, it's because you're coordinating. You're not using the sticks. You're using fluid motion, right? Your neck.
Yeah. It's
like a mouse.
It's like going from the gyro to the twin sticks. Because I know the gyro is kind of like when you're playing Zelda on the Wii U or something. It's kind of weird to go from aiming the joysticks to the gyro, but the gyro is actually more precise.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say is it's like going from using your analog stick on your controller and then going to a mouse. That smooth motion your hand can make with your shoulder, and then your neck can do that smooth motion. So I was like, that like when you were shooting around or when I was shooting around, you could see like when you're using your neck to move, it was really smooth and nice compared to other games I played in VR where you had to use the stick and you're like, but it's rare, but you do it in that too. But yeah, go ahead.
I'll be more impressed.
Oh, I heard you croak or something. Was that you croaking? What was that sound? All right, go ahead, Wheels.
I'll be more impressed when they make it so that more things can break, more things can be destroyed. You could utilize anything as a weapon. That would be cooler. If you could do more damage.
You got to keep in mind
what you do. There's more consequences.
They're making a puzzle game in addition to a horror game.
Yeah, that's what it's always been about.
Survival horror, so you can only use certain things. I get what you're saying. Like maybe they could have explained, hey, why can't you pick up that guy's axe? He's dead. Why can't I pick up that guy's axe?
Yeah. Why can't I,
But that's always what the
take an axe, break it into the wall, take some pieces.
But that's the Resident Evil story. That's how Resident Evil's always been, right? Survival horror. It's not been like, okay, because you're seeing it because you never played a Resident Evil game before, Tommy. The reason why you're getting that sense of mode is that, hey, why don't you just pick this up? That means that the VR is working, that you can look at it and say, hey man,
you're forgetting it's a game.
You forgot that it's a game, and you're like, hey man, pick up that stick and start beating that
Dude,
guy.
I used to think that way when I watched Scooby Doo's. What are you talking about? Well, as soon as I'm in a life or death situation, it's do or die.
Well, I know, but I'm just
Do or
saying.
die.
But I'm saying at the end of the day, you can feel that when you're playing in the VR. But
yeah, of course.
anyway,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, even though I'm not a fan of horror games. I'll say that 100%. I'm not a fan of horror games.
Neither am I.
I'm a big fan of horror games.
And the reason why is because my heart can't handle it. Not because I'm not physically. I don't have anything physically wrong with me, but I know that whenever I get into these types of modes, I'm just gonna tell you a story. I was straight up playing this game, no spoilers or anything, but a jump scare came, and I straight up closed my PS4. Like I went, PS button, power off. Like I was like, nope. And I stepped away. I went to the bathroom and I washed my face.
Wow.
Why, you were sweating?
I was not sweating, but I needed like cold water because I was like, my heart was like just. It happens on any game with suspense. It doesn't matter if it's a horror game or a suspense type of game where you're like sneaking around.
See, that's the
I get
difference
that.
between me and you. I can't do jump scare kind of things because I'll throw something. Like, it will scare me to the point I'll forget what's going on. Like, that's one reason I didn't even want to put on the VR headset, because I knew if something jumped out and I was there and it's first person, I'm going to throw the controller in the direction of whatever is in front of me. Natural defense.
Yeah. And then one thing I was going to say, Will was talking about was PT. PT was what again? You were talking about PT and you didn't finish. What was PT a precursor to?
It was a playable teaser for the new Silent Hill franchise that was canceled.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Silent Hill was so good. I played the first Silent Hill. That scared the crap out of me, but
it was
liked
amazing. And playing this reminded me of it. Maybe took some inspiration from it, but it's two different companies, so technically it's unrelated.
No, I just want to point that out. Like you didn't. I don't think you said that, so I just want to bring it up.
Yeah.
But I think if you want to get into, I don't want to spoil the game for anybody out there that should play it.
But it does have a story to it, and does in the end tie into the Resident Evil universe. I know it seems very unrelated with what you may see from the gameplay and things like that. And like, where's the zombies? But it does tie into the universe.
It freaks you out. It's the way it's designed is definitely makes you think any second, every moment, something's gonna come out.
And the gameplay is good both on VR and regular without VR. So
yeah, definitely, it definitely looks a lot better without the VR, and you can understand why they have to hold that frame rate, and it takes more of a toll on the system, but it looks very good either way.
Yeah, but so at the end of the day, I mean, you can recommend being played both ways, but hats off to Konami to get the VR looking good.
Yeah, I was really sad I never got to play another really big horror game I really like is Alien Isolation.
Didn't you? I thought you played that.
No, I got that. I have the Oculus headset, but it's the dev kit version, and it supposedly only works with. It's the consumer version. It only works with dev kit version 2. According to the weird patch you have to make it go through. So I was really disappointed.
That's sad.
I wasn't able to actually play that.
I can see how you would really want to play that game.
One day we get a patch, maybe to the PlayStation VR, I'd be happy, or like a re-release, I'd be really happy to play that.
Maybe it'll be a DLC.
Because from what I play with this, if they're able to get that kind of integration, if it like actually it was like a unofficial patch, so it's not even this quality. But if they're able to get that game specifically, because I love space, I love Alien, with this, I would buy it in a second.
But at the end of the day, they did it with Battlefront, right? They released that X-Wing VR thing.
Yeah, that was like a tag on.
It was a
This
tag
is
on.
a full experience.
Well, what I meant is they could always do the same thing. Be like, all right, for like $15 more, you pay for the VR experience.
Yeah.
I can see them doing it. Go ahead, tell the team. Say it. Email them.
It'd be cool.
Something.
Do you think this will make the PlayStation VR that much more appealing to see that they can take a full game and do this? Or
I think that at the end of the day, if you can do this with any game where you can have it either be VR or regular, you're going to end up selling your VRs more, because people are going to say, I would rather play it in more immersive.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you have people like Ellie that got a little bit of queasiness out of this game, not because it's the game, I think it was because of how.
I think it's because we have the smooth motion on.
Yeah, smooth motion on, and the smooth motion causes you to move your head more often, and head versus what your fingers are doing.
Yeah, we changed it for you, but I think by the time we changed it, the damage was already done.
Yeah, damage is already. It only takes like a minute or two to get that queasy feeling.
Permanent brain damage.
No, I hope not.
Oh.
Can you speak? No
I
permanent.
keep trying to, but then you get
Brain
talk,
damage.
So then I shut up.
There's no permanent. There's no permanent brain damage, is there?
Broken.
What are you, a sound box?
I think what I also had to do with it was that I like exploring and I like staring at things, and I was staring at those pictures and flipping.
I don't
them.
think you're really staring. You look like you were
And I
like searching for some like.
But
see, that's what I always like.
It looked
about
like you lost your
things.
pen and you're just like looking all over the place. Like, where did I drop it? Where did I drop it?
Go ahead. What were you saying? So you like looking around in games? I heard from a lot of people that's what they really liked about this game. They're playing
I
this
didn't
game.
feel like there was enough. That was my problem.
I
From
think
the time.
If you could take your time and enjoy this game, I think you'd really like it.
From the time I played, I didn't know.
I mean, there wasn't enough interactive things to do.
No. What she's talking about is like when you have that dead room, she would like a room that has nobody in it. And there's nothing to run away from.
There should be more things to
That's
see.
what she would like to just stare off into the artwork of the room.
Am
I right?
Yeah.
Enjoy the horror atmosphere.
Exactly. And then when there's action happening, then you don't need any of that because there's no time to look at it. Trying to kill something.
What I meant. Yeah, I've heard from like you're not the only one, but I've read like a review from some other group saying that their biggest thing that they liked is that when they didn't have to run away from anything.
Yeah.
And the room was completely like basically sterile, or there's nothing going on there.
What I liked about this, I mean,
they could look around and be happy with how much detail they put into the rooms.
Those black blobs, I think this game would still been really, really good, even if you didn't have those black blobs.
Yeah.
If you took those out, I think it'd be even more scary because you only run into those bosses that the game has.
Right, but they're not bosses at the time. They're not like a boss fight.
Like introduced to them. You can't kill them until you actually fight them in a boss battle. But
right, exactly.
I think it would still be a very immersive game.
And I could see how that could be like a...
And what those black things are is basically your replacement for zombies.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're going into ratings, what would you rate it, Ellie? Sorry, I don't want to take over.
From what you played.
Out of 10, I take 1 off because it made me sick.
Well, you can play without VR, so I don't know if you should.
Yeah,
Queasy factor.
And then half a point off because I don't know, because it could have had more stuff to stare at, and because it made me dizzy.
I'm sure there was plenty to stare at. I just think at the...
So that brings us to 8.5.
So 8.5 is not a bad score.
Based off from the first, 30 minutes?
Yeah, you played about 30 minutes of it.
That I played of it before I had to take the headset off because I wanted to puke.
You couldn't even look at the screen after.
No, I couldn't.
So is that your VR ranking or is that your game ranking?
That's my game ranking. Because then, based off the game, I like it. I know it's scary, but I don't know. I think I just had to be in a quiet, dark room without people screaming like little girls in the back coming. And
I don't know what you're talking
just
about.
need to be in the dark. And I wanted that heart race going. Like, I enjoy that out of games that are supposed to do that.
Plus, we were also all telling you what to do.
Well,
yeah, that too. I had a little voice telling me what I had
not
to
yell
do.
at me. I'm trying to.
But at the end of the day, I
didn't say anything.
For
I
something-
just said a little voice.
but you could still, even if you're with a bunch of friends, I think this game would give you that heart palpitation. It gave me a heart palpitation.
It gave me nothing but nausea.
Well, that's because you were like moving your
I was
head.
just getting angry because Will
you
wouldn't finish
barely
off
made it past the
zombies.
intro, and by the time it was getting scary, you're like, okay, I'm sick.
But
Yeah, and I was purposely running into things like something jump now. I want to get scared.
It
Nothing.
has to set the mood. You can't
Yeah.
just jump right into horror.
So Tommy, what did you give the rating with the gameplay?
If you could play it without freaking out.
Right?
I would give this. I mean, yeah, I'd give it a 9.
A 9.
Nice.
And
It's for scary movie.
it's my first scary game. Now,
game movie.
I'll explain myself. Well, I didn't give it a 10 because, in my opinion, there should be a little bit more, like Ellie says, more interactiveness, more environmental things that you should be able to pick up and use. That would make it a little cooler, in my opinion. Because that's what a survival game should be like, where you could just use inanimate objects as weapons, kind of like What's that one game? I forgot the name.
Inanimate objects as weapons.
Well,
Job simulator.
I think they could have
No. Like
added that kind of element by making you be able to pick up everything, but it has a durability thing. So the more you use it, the more it wears
or
out.
even if it
Yeah,
would, like bring out the hands, at least like something falls because you opened your hands, like painting or something, you know?
Yeah, it just more damage to the environment would be cooler, you know. But there is also one thing that kind of annoyed me, which was like I get it, it's part of the story, but like all of a sudden like you be chased by something and then it has this weapon that you've never seen, some medieval looking weapon comes out of nowhere. Yeah, and you're just like, where the hell was this thing hiding? Because I went to all the damn rooms that this guy is fucking going in. So where did he pull this out? Like under the rug?
Maybe he made it.
No way he made it in that span of time.
Dude,
so
there's a lot of things in this game that are unexplained. Maybe he's a good master carpenter.
No, see, that's the thing. It should be. I mean, if you're gonna explain how everything turns into this and that,
you can obviously tell they're farmers.
Yeah, right? From the house.
Yeah, but where were they hiding these fucking weapons?
It's like a hoe he converted into a thing.
Yeah,
I mean, he had like the.
Oh my god.
He had these. He had this ridiculous thing, but I mean, you know, there's a lot of questions as to like what the hell is happening. You know, like why are there so many dungeons?
Yeah,
is this like a Civil War era?
That's because you're supposed to figure it out.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, this house is a plantation. If you looked,
that makes
at the box cover art, you can tell it's like a plantation. It's like a plantation house, and plantation houses are huge. If you look at them, if you look at the sugar barren houses of New Louisiana,
it makes sense because there's cells everywhere. So they're obviously, you know, back in the day they kept people, you know.
No.
Yeah.
No. You're getting weird, Tommy.
I'm sorry.
You're talking out of your ass.
Okay. So anyway, at the end of the day, as far as artwork is concerned, as far as setting the tone, you know, the look of the genre of just creepiness. It's great. I think they did a good job. I mean, it's creepy on all levels. There's weird shit everywhere. There's random stuff everywhere. You know, and everything kind of fits the mood. I mean, even the coloring, you know, nothing is like really static to the point where it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it does have a lot of variety on the color.
You know,
each area has a different color theme to it.
But it works with each other. That's the thing. It makes sense. It's not like a sudden like super bright color or something. It all works in that horror theme. Like you could honestly, if you were to recreate this entire house live and then have people go through it like as a haunted house for a Halloween thing, it would scare the absolute shit out of everybody without no zombies, just walking through it, just the creepiness of it.
But that's the thing about like having an abandoned house. You gave it a
but they did it really well
with the ambiance. With the ambiance, you get with ambiance and all that stuff you like, you give it a 9, which I understand is a great score.
Yeah,
so that's a really good score. I mean, for me, I'll go next because I want Will's to be the last one because the guy that actually beat the game to go last.
Okay.
Me, I didn't get past a certain point in the game because my heart almost fell out of my chest.
Oh, you poor baby.
And it's just because I'm not. I can watch.
Because you're a wuss.
Listen. You can take me to any horror movie and I'll laugh. But I can't play this kind of a game and enjoy it because my body tells me you're gonna die, and I don't like that. So that's what it is. Anyway, but I played a little bit of it. I got to enjoy it, and I got to watch Will play it, a lot of it. So at the end of the day, from what I'm noticing, and I played in the game. I mean, I want to applaud Konami on their transition to VR for this game. And honestly, I'm going to give this a solid 8.5 out of 10. And I've already made my ideas clear that the VR transition, and you could see what a AAA team can do with VR. That was the most impressive. The facial movements of some of the characters. Even though they were not super stylized, because this is not a system that can handle everything, but the facial movements, the movements of the characters, the movement of your character, things happening
the fighting,
on screen,
everything's cool.
On screen, on screen, things you saw. Yeah, there's little weird moments where you click a button and your body disappears, but that's VR just doing its thing.
Yeah,
but
it's because from where your body position is, it'd be weird for them to move in the cutscenes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I get that's what happens, but this game also looks good as just a
A game.
as a game if you played it first with your controller.
Kind of reminds me of Let It Die a little bit for some reason.
Because it's the spooky atmosphere.
It's the spookiness.
Not just that,
but that game is a game that doesn't scare me. I'll tell you right now, that didn't scare me. This kind of does because of the weird
I think it's because it's more.
suspense.
I think it's more because it's first person.
No, it's a suspense. No, it has nothing to do with that. I could play another Resident Evil game and I'll feel this too. It's suspense. Like the thought of what is around the next corner. That's what bothers me. My mind works too much.
Well.
But one day you could turn the corner as another guy you're gonna smash down. That's it. In this one, like the next guy you run into or the next person you run into can smash you down. And you have no idea who that is, what's happening. And the reason I get this way is in Let It Die, yeah, they're people, but you don't have any connection to them. There's weird things that they're just trying to kill you.
Yeah,
but
this
with
is more story.
Zombies in general are people that have are people. We're people, humans. And then the thing that scares me the most is that they're stupid, yes, but they're also intelligent because of their hive mind idea. But it's all good.
Yeah.
But that was my score, 8.5 out of 10. I think that's a pretty strong score for a...
Hey, we got 8.5.
8.5 is a strong score in my book.
Yeah, it is.
9 would be like nearly perfect. 9.5 is like not perfect, but 9.5 is like super good.
You got
like,
8.5, right?
8.5. And then 10 is like you did nothing wrong. I basically, when I played the game, I creamed my pants. And that's what happened. Sorry, Ellie. But moving on.
No, I don't know. You said
So you guys ready for my rating?
affects you.
Yeah, go ahead, Will. Give us your rating.
So I mentioned one of my favorite games, my favorite horror games, is Alien Isolation.
Yep.
And the other game that I always forget the name of, Outlast.
Your favorite game, we forget the name.
Well, it was one of my favorite games.
What about Castlevania?
Wasn't Outlast free on Xbox?
It was free. I think it was free not too long ago. It was also free on PlayStation around when it first came out.
Okay, just moving on.
But Alien Isolation, I like that one more than Outlast. I think the sense of suspense and the atmosphere is really well done in that game. But it's better than this game for sure, as far as sense of suspense and the immersion. But what this game did better is the overall game design, in my opinion. I only played it through Alien Isolation once, but this game I played through it 3 times already.
Wow.
And I spent more time looking around, kind of getting a feel for everything, and I wanted to play through it again. I wanted to get the unlockables, and I didn't have that want in Alien Isolation. I only wanted to play through it one time.
And you had the same feeling as Ellie then. You thought that the look of the rooms are
the
overall, prettiness of, even if it's a dead room,
like I said, the sense of suspense and the atmosphere was better in Alien Isolation, in my opinion. But the way they did the gameplay with the VR, looking around, the way that you could just explore, and the way the puzzles were, because the puzzles were terrible in Alien Isolation.
Just easy.
Yeah, but there were some parts where this is ridiculous. I was supposed to know this in this game too.
Oh yeah.
So, because I did have to cheat sometimes.
Oh yeah, you read a little review here and there.
Aha.
Okay. Tommy's just a sound box today.
Cheater, pumpkin eater.
Yeah.
Well, you have to kind of.
You have
no, I get no.
The first time through.
Is that how you justify it?
The first time I played through, I only cheated when I was really stuck, and that was like only once or twice.
Platinum, huh?
And
more like plastic.
Oh my god! And then playing through it again is when I was like, okay, and I experienced the whole game. Now I can look up where all the secrets are. And then you go back through and you experience those secrets, and you get the unlockables, and you get the other stuff.
So what you're saying is you looked up how to get the platinum.
No, he didn't. He looked to see how to fix, because these kinds of games came with didn't these games come with those Prama guides or whatever? These are the type of games you'd buy those guides for.
Right. Oh yeah, those guidebooks.
Yeah,
those that you'd never be able to figure out. Well, you'd be able to figure it out, but you've been spending forever on it. And it's not really worth
so it's not like you want to spend like 16 hours in a game that how long is this game? You would say 10 hours for an average player?
1 hour in this game is enough for me.
First time around, it took me like 7-8 hours.
Too much creepiness.
I think I played this game for a total of 2.5 hours.
But you gotta keep in mind, first time I was playing completely in VR. And that was like, took its toll on me. I had headaches. I had to take breaks. But yeah, this game, from all that being said, I'd probably give it. I would love to give it a 10, but like I had those puzzles that were frustrating and it didn't really guide you through very well, and the sense of suspense and atmosphere wasn't quite as good as I would like. But I'm a little biased because I love space.
You don't like basements or old.
I heard one of our friends from a different podcast called Beyond the Shield was talking about Resident Evil. Adam Wells is his name, and he mentioned that there was a Resident Evil candle for this game that was supposed to come out, and it smells like basements and rotten wood, blood and rotten wood. I want it. And you're supposed to light it when you're playing the game. Imagine that with the VR headset on.
Oh God, no, thank you. But why would you want?
Imagine that every day.
Sorry. Hold on. Wait.
Like you're playing.
There's a candle that smells like old rotten wood
and blood.
Yeah. And Ellie wants one.
That sounds amazing. I won't have to do things anymore for that smell.
Wait a minute. What do you do?
What do you do to get that smell?
I collect old wood and blood.
Oh, I thought you had like a little piece of wood that you spray with water and then cut something and put some blood on it.
That's exactly what she.
You sound like you said, really I don't weird. Have to do things anymore. Like, what do you do?
Kill people.
Oh God, you're a murderer. That laugh is evil. But I think that imagine if you had that candle, if that was the truth, it would be like Pirates. You know how when you go on Pirates of the Caribbean now here and
having the candle smell
the room,
the chlorine.
No, it's not that. It's that weird mildewy smell. But then when you go in there and you smell that, you feel like you're in a basement or like a dark, dingy area.
God, that's the last thing left. VR and with the smell. Holy shit.
That's a great combination.
I mean, what's next? They invite you over, drop you off on an island. This is the game. Play it.
Well, then you're getting into Westworld, which I really want to watch. Westworld levels.
Start getting into that.
Westworld that's what the story of Westworld is. It's like a game, but it's like instead of VR, you're actually playing. It's kind of like VR, but it's like you're fully immersed in the game.
What?
Yeah, we'll go into that once we get to watching Westworld.
Yeah,
we need to watch that.
It.
So final ranking though, 9 out of 10 antique coins.
9
antique coins. Oh, we didn't do our thing.
Oh.
So let's go back. Ellie, what would you give it?
8.5 dead crows.
Dead crows.
Tommy, he gave it antique coins and dead crows.
I give it.
You already gave it the rating.
9 out of 10. Double taps.
I will give it. I said an 8.5.
Psycho bitches.
Dirty basements.
Oh, I was gonna say dirty socks.
Oh, smelly socks.
Dirty smelly socks.
Dirty smelly socks.
One more thing before we move on. Something I really liked about the game is at one point you have a saw, and when that is going on with the saw business, your main character says "not groovy."
What?
Homage to Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Anyway, next topic.
God, look at that. Look at all that Watchdog save. It's not even the megabytes,
so
it's the kilobytes.
Second topic of the week, Resident Evil the Final Chapter, the movie.
All right,
so we all went together and we saw the Resident Evil the Final Chapter.
We held hands and everything.
And Tommy was frightened for his life.
Tommy and I shared seats next to each other, and I knew there was going to be some jumps because Tommy doesn't like these kinds of movies.
Right at the beginning.
I told Tommy, Sohail to hold Tommy's hand.
The intro had Tommy jumping.
Listen, fuck this movie. Let's just put it this way. Fuck this movie. Fuck jump scares. Fuck Resident Evil. Fuck it.
That was very loud.
That's my opinion.
So to get this out of the way, it's not. There was just a few jump scares. It lives up to. I think somebody said they're trying to go back to the roots of like the first Resident Evil movie, make it a little bit scary
at the end.
But it wasn't even anywhere near that. Still, I mean,
no,
I didn't think the original one was scary at all either.
I don't think any of the Resident Evil movies are scary. I think they're really all
over the top
and action and weird.
It wasn't even that over the top in the first one, but it went more and more over the top with everyone.
But the truth of this movie, truth of all Resident Evil movies, is they're completely readable. You know what's going to happen next, even though you think you don't. You can read like 5 steps ahead of the movie because it's all there. It's following a formula. Get chased, kill the thing that's chasing you, move on, less people live, get chased again, less people live.
Well, I don't know what's going on. They just need the Mila Jovovich? It's Djokovic. They need to finally end this character because she found out she's this experiment, and then she gets superpowers, and she's supposed to get the superpowers back, and then she loses superpowers, and then she's supposed to have lost the superpowers, but she's still able to take big huge whacks to the head and keep on going and stuff when it would kill normal humans and beings. So I don't get it.
In the previous movies,
did she keep a little bit of the powers? Because in the previous movie she lost the powers.
No, I know what you're saying. So I understand the idea, but at the end of the day, the movie was the movies kind of follow all the humans kind of have a little bit of superhuman abilities that they're not supposed to, because when they watch it, she has ability to get hurt really bad, but so do other humans in the movies. People walking around with a piece of their body destroyed or damaged or shot. Yeah, you can go ahead and say something.
Okay.
What?
Here's one big thing that really pissed me off in this movie. Number one, you have this character who, by now, most people already know is a... Can we change? I'm so distracted.
There.
Thank you.
This is so funny because he just can't even pay attention. He's like, then this, and then...
Okay, we have this character who, she is this pretty much this ultimate badass. She's really good at what she does. She's a fighter. She can fuck people up, kill people. She can almost predetermine multiple ways to kill somebody. I mean, she's just a badass. Knows how to use weapons and stuff. Wait.
Okay.
But then when she's on a motorcycle, twice she hits not getting chased, not getting attacked, nothing. She hits a fucking beam twice. She gets knocked out by hitting some random fucking object. It's just what? Did she go retarded all of a sudden? This superhuman badass who in situations she's not gonna get out of this, gets out of it, driving straight, hits a beam.
No, yeah, I hear
what?
I hear your complaint. It's because she has these certain things that she can do in other parts, but then she can't do it in this part. And at the end,
she completely shut down.
They did it because of the storyline. It was convenient to the storyline.
Yeah, but if you want to make it work,
see, that's poor writing. That has nothing to do. Exactly it has nothing to do with. Yes. It has nothing to do with the. It's just poor writing in general. So she has powers and she doesn't have powers. Then there's a continuity issue in the movie.
Are we allowed to spoil this?
I think we're gonna save everybody money because this movie's terrible.
I wouldn't mind spoiling for everyone, but if
we're spoiling the shit out of it.
So
this movie's terrible. We're saving you money.
All right, so here we go. First big ass problem. The entire premise is that she has the main character whose name escapes me. What's the main character's name?
Her name is
Alice.
Alice. Yeah.
Alice is worn by the Red Queen, right? The little animated fucking AI of the original girl who this shit started with. She's told she's got a half 30 minute 2 days or 48 hours
right
before the whole world ends.
She somehow calculated that once this thing gets into the air.
Now here's the thing, and Sohail pointed this out very well when we were driving back. In the start of the movie, it tells you that there's 4,000 some people left, right, on the Earth itself. Now that I don't think that includes all the people who are being cryogenically kept for the once everyone's dead, right? Yeah, so this is 4,000 people on this Earth's surface. Now the entire story is all on a clock. It's all depending upon Alice saving the world before the timer runs out. Now, according to the AI, if she doesn't spread this, we find out there's a serum, right, that will revert all this and kill everything that's pretty much anything that's been affected will die.
With the T-virus.
The T-virus. So this is the serum, right? The cure. By spreading, if she can spread the cure, then the world will be saved. So those 4,000 people.
The poor writing comes into play here.
Yeah, big time. So at the end, she does get the cure, obviously, and breaks it. And then we find out at the very end, because she's only got 5 fucking, well, there's 4 minutes, but there's a 15-minute goddamn Matrix fight at the end. So it doesn't make any goddamn sense how she didn't fail.
Versus a super robot. I mean, it's not even. He does not even infect with the T-virus. This is the first time in the Resident Evil movies that we've seen. I guess actually Alice did have those augments right in her eyes before.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a T virus. At least it didn't seem like he did. It was all robotic. I don't get it.
Yeah.
All augmentations.
But
wait, hold on.
Oh, dang, Tom.
I gotta finish this one because it really pissed me off too.
Okay.
Because so she gets the virus, or the cure. She cracks the cure, right, onto the ground, and it spreads. And immediately all the fucking zombies start dying and shit. And then it fast forwards a little bit later on, and we find out that they say it. Alice says it herself, that because the T virus was originally spread by people going on airplanes and shit, it spread all over the world really fast. However, the cure is spread by the winds, so it's going to take a couple, it could take months or even years before it spreads all around the world to cure it. So what Swell pointed out very clearly was, okay, wait, so if we had 5 fucking minutes before everyone on Earth is dead, and you're telling me she just dropped this cure that, by the way, is inside where they're standing is inside of a nuclear crater, so the wind has to actually scoop the air, scoop this literally like not even maybe 10 ounces worth of like liquid and float it to these settlements that are left within 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds.
This is the point that I made.
So they're all dead then. She
unless
failed.
the AI calculated that from the time it would take for the
but it's so stupid.
antivirus to spread throughout the air to the survivors, that it would have to happen within 48 hours.
Yeah, but that's still
got it.
Yeah, but she said something to the effect of that in 48 hours all the human colonies
sound like it,
will be wiped out.
That's exactly what she said.
And then she spreads this little thing, and then at the end of the movie she's like, it will take years for it to spread. I'm like, okay.
And it's the final chapter, yet she's like, I gotta continue my journey. They go kill zombies.
And in the beginning of the movie, she says, this is my final chapter, it's my final story. And
so
you're
dumb.
like, this, you definitely gonna remake another one.
Here's something that bothered me as well.
They put this movie into the genre where it's like, again, you have a character that this storyline is completely predictable. Everything's against the odds. She meets her friends. Our friends are gonna die.
Yeah, it's a story thriller action movie.
There is a twist at the end. I don't want to spoil the twist, but the twist, it's predictable. If you're watching the movie, you probably picked it up in the first 20 minutes, but it's a predictable twist.
I saw it coming.
You know what does bother me though is the fact that
what doesn't bother you? Tell me.
The minute they show the video in the beginning of the movie, you could tell what was going to happen in the end.
No, yeah, you could tell. You could totally tell from like the first
the voice. You could tell from the voice. It was so bad.
Okay. The first 15 minutes, you're like,
I've never seen any of the Resident Evil movies. I've never played any of the games, so I didn't know what the story was. Now, in the beginning of this movie, they explain to you basically a recap of everything that's happened so far, and they show you actual clips from the previous movies, and they pretty much give you a rundown for like a good 10 minutes of what's going on, and that's great. I liked it because it makes it a standalone movie that you can watch if you've never seen the if you've never seen the other movies. Here's my problem though. In the fucking movie, there are flying creatures and like weird animal beast things that they don't fucking ever explain in the beginning.
Because you never watched it.
Again, so then why the hell did they bother even explaining how we got to this point if you're never gonna explain?
No, because those things are small. Listen,
dude,
you've never played a Resident Evil game, so you don't understand the dogs.
No, but look,
the dogs are like integral to the game.
No, the dogs I get because they said organisms, all organisms were affected.
Resident Evil 1.
Resident Evil 1. They break through a window.
I get the dogs because it said it spread to organisms. Dogs.
Those things that are flying around.
What the fuck is
those
that?
things are those things. I mean, at the end of the day, what do you?
No. Look,
because you haven't watched the other ones, you don't know.
No. Look, you cannot have a 20-minute.
Watch the other ones.
Listen, you can't have a 20-minute scene of her fighting this fucking flying monster and never explain.
They don't need to.
Yes, they do.
Because it was in the other movies.
Why do you bother then fucking explaining all this other bullshit?
I'm not arguing with you.
Spread,
I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to argue with you, but this is a critic will tell you that you didn't watch other movies and you have no right to say anything. So.
Okay, no.
I'm just trying to explain to you it was in a different movie.
If that's the case, then why do they spend so long explaining every
because
detail
poor
of why
writing.
it'll
Again,
happen?
poor writing.
Exactly.
But you don't want it. Okay, any movie that has to preamble itself with a 20-minute explanation of what happened in the last 10 movies, that tells you poor writing. You can't disconnect it. You need to kill off your story. But what they did is just like, let's just keep riding this wave of making $107,000.
They didn't even like completely ride. They.
Ellie,
Yeah.
What do you do?
Want something to share with the class?
She thought riding the wave must have been funny.
They said that we went to a museum and they said I look like this.
No, you don't.
Who
Because
said
I
that?
do that. I don't know.
I just thought you would like that.
That kind of looks like a pig. That picture.
They set up this story, right? And you're supposed to just ignore some of what happened in the previous movies, just so you could kind of get what's going on in this movie. Like the powers thing. Like, does she have powers? Does she not have powers? Does she have some powers? How is she able to withstand this stuff? Like those kinds of things. They had, like the last movie. I didn't watch the last movie. I stopped at Apocalypse. Where at the end of the movie saw all the clones. I think I watched part of the other one where like all the clones are attacking and dying, and all of a sudden it's just one. It was a ridiculous opening.
It just felt like that intro. There was a lot of shit that you really didn't need to know that they could have put instead. Things that should have been kind of explained.
But again, this is the things that you are interested in, is where those monsters come from. Some people are like, it's just the monster.
Yeah, but to my knowledge, from where the last one left off, it was Wesker, and he was like, Alice, we need your help. The human race is gonna die without you having your powers back. And then she's like, yeah, let's do this. That's as far as I know. That's how the last one ended. And now Wesker's a little bitch. He has superpowers. He has the T-virus. He's infected with the T-virus. He's able to grow limbs back. But there's one point in the story where something falls on him and he's done.
No, yeah. I mean,
it's ridiculous.
They look like fucking Mr. Smith.
Listen, he gets.
And how did it go from "fuck you, Alice" to I'm gonna help you, Alice, to get your powers back, to "fuck you, Alice, fuck all of humanity, I'm with Umbrella still"?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that's one thing that happened. But then he had his foot cut off. And he was just like, help me. Help me. I'm so weak.
And he was so good. And I watched scenes from the previous one. And he was so good. It was like the Wesker that I've always known.
And Wesker's from the games.
Yeah, he in the game.
Holy crap, man.
Him in the game, he was crazy. Yeah,
he's really like, oh my God.
In Resident Evil, I think it was...
Is it 4 or 3?
6. He was in that one too. And he was crazy.
Yeah, but and then there was also the scene. If you guys loved the first one, there's that laser room.
Yeah.
That laser room.
Oh, yeah, they paid homage with the laser room.
The laser room
made no sense.
That's another thing that can want you
Let's say crazy things.
No, it didn't, because I was expecting the same pattern. But
yeah. With the grid that he...
Yeah.
Remember that black guy that was doing it? He jumped and he's like... Or was that black guy or an Asian guy? I don't remember.
It was a black guy.
He was like jumping. He's like, I'm so cool. And then the laser went from a line to a grid and he's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And he died.
He sliced into tiny pieces.
Yeah, but what's dumb is that's another thing they expected to forget. Like, this guy is the boss. This is the boss battle that we're talking about right now. And... he's trying to kill Alice, yet he doesn't use the grid pattern. What happened to the fucking grid pattern?
Yeah, it forgot it.
Can we talk about the fact that he's just holding her hand and then waits for her fingers to get chopped off instead of, I don't know, fucking taking her head and letting her head get chopped off?
Well, he's talking about at the end of the boss battle, he has power over her and says the lasers are coming. He's like, instead of allowing, her to die, he's just, here's 3 fingers. I'm cut off.
Her, yeah.
He's got her subdued.
But
he's holding her wrist.
But also and
he's just waiting for the laser. There's literally a 3-second wait for the laser.
But little did we know she was taking advantage of the situation and do something.
Yeah, we know. But I mean, but from his perspective, he's just waiting for the lasers to come chop off her fingers. But like, you see, you can't do this. That's called stupid ass writing. Don't play it. At this point, people shouldn't be writing villains so cliche.
Yeah, the problem is that when you look at the character models for movies like this, the villain always has hubris, right? I'm so strong. I don't have to. I'm going to make my long-winded speech about how I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's what happened with this. He's like, I'm going to torture you. But there's also an issue with that laser scene. That scene was cool. Don't get me wrong. From the first movie, I love that scene. But they're fighting in that hallway, and lasers are coming at both of them. They both have to dodge them. So let me give you a visual. So let's say you're looking down this square hallway where the lasers were. So imagine 3 lines coming at you of this lasers. They going 1, 2, 3, exactly the same width apart. But then they went diagonal. So at a 45-degree angle, they came at them. She jumps and dodges him, but he doesn't jump, and his legs don't get cut off. Why? Did he like block his legs from getting cut off?
He had secret mirrors built into his pants.
Actually, the lasers adjusted for him. If just before he cuts off her fingers, you can see the lasers coming, and when they're coming at him, they actually twist to a triangle. They adjust to not cut him.
No,
and then switch back.
I get that part, but I'm talking when they're
probably
fighting.
the same thing.
But how? Yeah, whatever.
You want to know the most interesting part is why the lasers not stop once all the glass got broken.
Why did they stop, or why
didn't they get distorted?
I think they broke it and then she fell out, right?
No, there was multiple times.
He smashed it, but it wasn't. It's not coming from the glass. I think it's coming from something different. It from the original movie, it was really, it showed like it was like some kind of weird.
Because obviously it's reflecting off of the glass.
And why didn't the Red Queen control that?
Technically, she did, but she lost. Well, she lost manual control. Remember?
She was locked
Wesker.
out.
But she killed Wesker.
Maybe she just never regained it back.
That's so stupid. That's another problem. Because she cut Wesker's foot off by controlling the door. Maybe it's not a defense pattern.
No,
it was defensive defensive stuff.
Because Wesker was fired. Once he was fired, he's not an employee of Umbrella.
Yeah,
she
but
could harm him.
Immediately get
No. But what I meant
she couldn't harm.
But what I meant was that she could have at least controlled the lasers to not hurt Alice.
She did control the door that fell on top of him. So why couldn't she control the lasers?
No, like she could have said, "Okay, I'm not going to hurt Alice."
No, but she didn't have control of the lasers at that point. Once the fight started, she was locked
That's
down.
a major plot hole.
I understand. I'm just saying it's a big plot hole. She had the ability to cut Wesker's feet off, but she can't save Alice. Get out with that.
No, she wasn't. Look, when she cut Wesker's foot off, she was not locked out yet.
Yeah, remember she fired him? Yes, I understand.
Yeah, and then he lost his foot and all that shit. She was still in control.
She was locked out. He locked her out.
No. That was after when he was
I
down there.
don't think you watched the movie like I did, because what I'm trying to explain to you is
what?
In the beginning, Wesker said, "Turn off I want full manual control." Remember?
Of defenses.
Yes. So she continually is locked out, but then she kicks back in, and when she says you're fired, it cuts his foot off by closing the door on him. But that means that his plot, he's overridden.
Well, yeah, once he got fired, he's no longer in charge.
Yeah, but I understand. But she still now has power over defensive systems because he died. So
no,
he's not dead yet. He's just bleeding out.
No, once he got fired, it goes back to default. Why would it go back to you have complete control? And even if he did, even if she did, right? He went to the hallway back to the computer station and shut her down and said, "Give me all 100% control." And then he manually turned on the lasers. That's when it started.
Yeah, he did do that. Yep, you're right. I was wrong. I was talking about why there was a plot hole with why she didn't. She was still active. Remember when she died?
But she wasn't allowed to do anything.
No, what I meant to say is at least she could have said,
she
"All right,
didn't know he was going to turn on the lasers."
I know. Maybe he said, "I'm not going to cut his hand off." But anyway, moving on.
You want to know what
ratings now?
Wait. There's one huge problem.
Ratings now.
Wait. One last one. One last big one.
You talk so much.
Shut the hell up, because this move pissed me off.
I know you don't like the movie. But
No. This has to be addressed. There was a spy from Umbrella the entire goddamn time.
No, thanks for spoiler.
Yeah, well, I don't give a fuck anymore.
We're spoiling it.
There was a spy who was with Alice and her team the entire time. He had 1,000 times.
And he was completely predictable.
He had not just that, but he had 1,000 opportunities to kill them all and then just end the problem for Umbrella. If you're going to be a spy for the enemy, why would you wait until you had planted all the explosives on the people that you're trying to not have killed? Wait all the way to the last moment to just hold her at guns armed. That was so stupid.
That was a big problem, and the reason they did that is for story. It's just you could have said that in any movie too. That's why they didn't do it. But I get what you're saying. Why didn't he stop him along the way? That would have been smarter.
His scene was 5 minutes at the end. 5 minutes, he gets disarmed. And then she shoots him. That was done.
Yeah, that's done.
There was no point even being.
See, what's the point of having him in the story? You're right.
None.
But at the end of the day, the real reason for him to not just shoot her in the beginning of the movie is because they wanted to make a movie. And then that's
and I get that, but it's it's bad. Don't put it in there.
Yeah, it was bad writing. It's all bad writing. But mainly,
it would have been more interesting if he would try to sabotage shit that we would know because we're seeing it, but nobody would have known it.
What they were trying to go for, and I honestly think this is what that was, is that they tried to go for that shock factor that Claire's boyfriend was the bad guy.
Oh, that doctor who saves
from
life.
A mile away.
And you could see it from a mile away because
I didn't see it.
I saw it.
It can't. I
Maybe
mean,
I was drunk.
You could. You could see. I could
survival serum.
I think anybody you could have saw it too. It's just that you're like, how come this guy survived this big fight scene with this giant monster and didn't die? How come he like survived this weird scene with her? How did he survive all these things?
I didn't think about it.
Yeah, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, I love you, Claire." And it's like, shut up.
I was thinking of a whole bunch of problems. Like, how come her shoe didn't blow up when she put that explosive in the corner and held her shoe? Like, really? Your foot didn't blow up?
It wasn't
the glass blows up, but her foot doesn't blow up?
Yeah, glass blows up. The glass blows up.
But a
rubber
body armor foot? I don't understand.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
But it could have been vibration break, but it doesn't matter. End of the day, I want to hear your guys' ratings, as Will would have said. But what's your ratings?
Mine?
No, what's your ratings? So go, Tommy. You're the one that hates it.
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. 2 out of 10 what's?
2 out of 10 bullshits.
Okay. Bullshits. Damn.
Now remember, I gave the game a 9, with the movie a fucking 2.
I would give the movie 4 extra gun barrels out of 10.
That I seriously thought was a Photoshop error. So there's, in the movie, there's a guy that has a gun with it. It's like looks really like a Beretta, and it's got 2.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
2 holes, 2 gun holes.
It was in the movie.
And it's in the movie.
Alice even had a shotgun that had 3 barrels.
Yeah, which is weird. But
well, you can play a shotgun.
If you go into the movie just wanting a really dumb movie that has ridiculous action, but and like really silly points, there's a couple that went in there and was like laughing at it like it was a comedy. If you go into it like expecting something really dumb like that, and you have a few alcoholic drinks like I had, you can have a good time.
What were they called that you had? You had 2 drinks.
Survival Serum. It was like a themed drink from. It was not even like Resident Evil at all. There's like not even a cup for it, but it was a themed drink according to the signage they had around the bar.
It was pretty cool though. You gotta be.
You're right.
You gotta be really happy that AMC said, you know what? We're going to make a themed drink. It's not really something for the movie, but it's called Survival Serum.
Well, we definitely needed it.
I bet you they probably saw the movie, and they're like, shit, this movie's going to tank. We better make a drink so that people go, oh, we're going to see this movie. Let's buy this drink before, so they get fucking smashed. And they go, this movie was great.
What they said,
have a cold cup.
what I really think it is because when the movies first come out, 99% of the profit goes to the producer of the movies, like the studios and stuff like that, and 1% goes to the theater. So they watch the movies and they said, oh shit, man, we got to make some profit now because no one's going to watch this after week 1. So
yeah,
that's
probably
what they did.
But Will's right. It's definitely a movie where if you don't give a shit about story, you don't give a shit about plot or character development or any of that crap, it's a good little action pack. This is like Die Hard with horror.
Yeah. So,
essentially.
Ellie, you want to give us your rating?
You can go first.
Okay, so if I was going to give this rating, I'm going to give it about a 4.5 out of 10. I'm not the worst at it. The reason why is I've seen worse movies. Putting out the movie to state that it had it was terrible writing. I feel bad for Mila Djokovic and her, I remember her watching her when she was in Fifth Element and finding, oh my God, she's so pretty, and then going from that to seeing her in these Resident Evil films and saying, man, she pigeonholed herself into these shots of being a heroine and being super strong and a fighter and this and that, and then that's the only thing
of a sci-fi heroine, actually.
Yeah, and poor writing in this movie, and everything is predictable. And you just see everything coming. It's just like, all right, this is coming.
Even the suspense jumps. You actually pointed out really well. You're like, every time it gets super quiet, something's gonna jump out.
Yeah.
And so I actually waited. Every time it got quiet, something fucking jumped out.
Yeah, that's just basic horror movie style.
After the first one, yeah. I mean, it was just
And then I'm gonna tell you a funny story during the movie. It did get you scared because when you
the very very first one, I didn't know when it was coming.
Like, don't drink that water. Don't drink that water. And she starts drinking it, and he goes, huh, and the whole row shook because this guy just jumped. But
listen, because this zombie jumped out of the damn water that she's drinking loud as fuck. I mean, yeah, it jolted me.
Yeah, I understand that, but
I almost punched somebody. I was scared. Dude, that baby. Oh my God. Somebody brought a damn baby to a Resident Evil movie, and I almost lost my mind.
Why would if there's blood and gore in this movie? Why would you do that? It was ridiculous.
Dude, I don't even.
The child obviously was scared and it was crying.
You know what? There should be a limit. Like movie theaters should be able to say, you know what, you can't take a kid.
That's just a general rant, but at the end, at the most part is why are you as a parent bringing a baby to this movie? This movie has a lot of gore, a lot of weird stuff,
horror, loud sounds, bad noise. The kid ain't gonna watch this.
I'm not here to tell anybody how to parent their kids.
I am. Fucking don't take a kid to a rated R movie.
Listen, take your kid to a baby daycare. If you can't take him to a daycare, I think movie theaters should start. Maybe movie theaters should start. This is a suggestion. Maybe make money, more money. Turn one of your like weird little sections.
What's that one movie theater that has it?
Like a kids, I don't know, called Cinemark or something like not Cinemark. That weird one down here.
Yeah. No, up top that we went with Encore. It had a daycare center right there.
Up top.
Was it Harkin?
Oh, Harkins, yeah.
Yeah, they had a daycare.
Yeah, they had daycare, but it's a daycare for the movie. Make a little more money. Charge people for daycare. And you
built-in daycare in the movie theater.
And the parents are being heroes to everyone else in the movie theater. So anyway, 4.5, and I give it to the poor writing. I give it to the major plot holes in this movie. I give it into a lot of issues with, I don't know, I just thought the movie just wasn't, it was entertaining, but it wasn't, it was just entertainment as it like gun, shoot, kill things. Yeah, okay, entertaining, but it was not memorable.
You gotta judge it as, would you watch it again? Hell
it was on Netflix. I'll watch it.
Hell no.
If I have to pay for it.
If I wanted to drink and have fun with friends, I would.
Nope, hell no.
You'd
have to pay me.
There were scenes in this movie that were supposed to be serious, but we all laughed at it. Especially when she dropped the serum and then he like magically showed up and grabbed
That's
it.
That's what I was going to ask you. 4.5, what? Well-timed vial grabs?
Well-timed
vial catches?
That 4.5 Asian guys kicking zombies. And then you were like thinking in your head, the next time she dropped it, you're like, she's dropping it. I thought it would be really funny if like a dog paw came out and grabbed the serum before it landed on the ground.
The only thing that was good about this movie was the action of the fighting, the choreographed hand to hand. That was
the fight, the ending of the movie with the fight between the two characters.
No, throughout the whole thing, fight in general.
But the umbrella story, that
garbage.
Was no. The umbrella story at the end was interesting to see that they were all like, it was like a general idea was there. That would have been a great story if they built on it, but they didn't. But anyway, 4.5. I'm gonna give it 4.5.
So Will gave it a what? A 4?
Yeah. Wait, the actress. Can I say something before I can let you go, Ellie? I'm sorry, I don't mean to hold you off. The actress Amber Rose.
No, it's wait.
It's Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose. Ruby Rose. Is it Ruby Rose?
It's Ruby Rose.
Can I pull myself back? Let's see.
Yeah, it's Ruby Rose.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm looking at it right now.
All right. So, Ruby Rose, I don't think her acting is so weak, and I feel bad, but that's something I want to say. A lot of the characters in this movie, their acting is really weak. You kind of feel like you're watching Starship Troopers 2. That's like the acting level that was in some of these characters. But anyway, 4.5. 4.5 weird things out of 10. Go ahead, Ellie. Give us your shot.
You guys are mean. I don't know. Okay, so yes, I agree. It's not a very good movie. But I knew that from the get-go. Like, I knew what to expect. This has been the case for the last 3 Resident Evil, if not all of them, after the first one, where it's completely cheesy, story's weird, it doesn't really make sense, this and that. But, after all of that aside, I still enjoy them. They're weird. They're zombies. It's a dark world. It has its good action scenes, and it's hilarious.
The funniness factor gave it some things, but yeah.
So it's like, and I love that whole Umbrella Corporation thing. So it brought me back to like the first one, all that stuff. So I didn't mind it, but yeah, the story was not great compared to the last 3 that were horrible. Also,
the last 3 were bad.
But
it's at the point where you're saying, oh, the last shit was a little bit smellier than the current shit.
It still kept me intrigued enough to want to know more about this whole world. So I don't think it's a complete failure compared to some other movies. I don't know, can't think of the top of my head like something horrible.
But but this movie already has made $103 million. Domestic.
Goes to show the franchise is just huge.
Yeah, it's the horror franchise. People like the Resident Evil franchise in horror because they're like, oh, it's going to be really bad. It's really scary. And it's one of the few video games that kind of spurred itself into its own franchise. It didn't follow it. And whatever.
Yeah, so it's just kind of one of those. And I'm kind of a sucker for horrible, cheesy horror movies. I enjoy watching them. But with all that being said, 6.5.
Out of 10.
6.5.
Cast her out. Cast her
No.
out.
Will, what are you doing?
I got an
what
idea.
were those religious people?
I don't know. What was all those Jesus stuff in it? But it's all right.
Here, let's say 6.5 Jesus people.
Jesus people out of 10. All right.
I
what
did
Jesus people?
I did the math.
Do you remember those crosses? They're like, and they're like doing that, and there's crosses in the car. Anyway, forget it.
Oh, did you notice how the umbrella logo resembles big time to the Knights Templar from Assassin's Creed?
No.
Well, this came out before that, so.
But they're very similar.
So I did the average. It's 4.25.
-5. Got it.
Negative 5.
4.25 out of 10.
If you could return a movie and get your money back, this would be the one.
No, it's okay.
No,
if you're a fan of Resident Evil
if you're
movies,
a fan of,
then
if
go watch it.
If you're like 13, if you're like one of those kids that's like just turned 13, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch Mila Djokovic and see her boobs, you can probably see this movie and be like, all right, I see a lot of up under her blouse shots. They do that a lot in this movie. I don't know why.
We gave a rating. So with that, let's move on to listener confessions.
I was about to close it.
Listener confessions. What are their confessions for this week?
So, our friend from Instagram, Wowzerbrina, sent us a message which is relevant to what the topics we're covering this week. She said on Instagram, if I had VR, I'm pretty sure Resident Evil 7 is the last game I'd play with it because I'd be screaming and peeing.
I think that's a normal reaction.
That's when you would play with a bucket underneath of you.
What the heck?
What?
It's an astronaut suit.
I actually wrote back saying Tommy would join you.
The hell I will.
If you had to play it, you'd be screaming.
No, honestly,
No.
I would.
I wouldn't be playing.
No, you would be screaming, but I don't know if
I'd
you'd
be screaming and
I don't know
throwing
if you'd
shit.
be peeing, but
No, I won't pee. I'll throw shit. I don't get scared and like piss myself. I get scared and lash out in defense. That's why I was.
What are you, like a teenage child?
No, it's just
Okay,
look, my fight or flight is embedded. That's just what it is.
I think that I agree with her when it says that she would be screaming, and I think there's more games to play to test out VR, but I think this is the best AAA game with VR so far, from what I had access to through on PlayStation VR. That's just my opinion. I would say if you're not into horror games, it's not worth your money. It's not worth $59. But if you are, it's totally worth $59. And I would totally throw money on it and say, hey man, it's a 2-portion game.
Well, that wraps up this week's confession. Join us next week for more discussions on and opinions on things that pique our interest. If you have any confessions you would like to discuss, feel free to send it our way. As always, we want to thank our listeners and followers for tuning in and supporting us. Share us, like us, review us, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Whatever you want to do, every bit helps us grow. And don't forget, you can find our previous episodes and bonus content on our website, nerdconfessions.net. This is Nerd Confessions, signing off.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Don't scream and pee your pants when you play the game.
Logging out of Nerd Confessions. Connections terminated. Transmission over.
It's always on.